not many people associate the commercial world with the world of poetry and spirituality, but Sophie Turton, who is here with me, does associate the two worlds, and you practice this association, if you like, the parallel between the two worlds as well, both in your in your job, but also in what you like doing, which is writing poetry.
Yeah.
So, welcome, Sophie.
Thank you.
I'm really intrigued by that. We speak to a lot of creative people here. We also speak to business people. It's not often that we speak to people who kind of combine the two. So tell me a little bit. Your job is you're a director of marketing branding company, with a difference.
Yes.
And you also write poetry, possibly with a difference. Explain.
So I think one of the kind of biggest issues that we have in the world, societally and environmentally, is that business has become this completely out of control entity that doesn't value the human experience, or the connection between humans and the planet and the animals that live here. So through The Joyful, which is the brand and marketing agency that I am the director of, we are bringing business back into to purpose and making sure that people and planet are as equally important as profit to the businesses that we work with. So in that way, for me, like, creativity is all about connection to yourself, connection to the world around you, and connection to each other. And the same for me is the kind of solution for businesses to be the change in the world, is for them to change the way that they're connecting as well.
Right. And when you talk about solutions, also something that you do is you're kind of a mentor, if you like, for mental health. And you found that poetry is a good way in. So you write poetry, you also run some workshops for people, particularly women, up in York, where you're living at the moment, although your business is down here. So tell me a little bit about the poetry and how you kind of make it work in that respect.
So poetry really for me is just the kind of the form in which the investigation or the curiosity into the human experience takes shape. I also write short stories, novels, sometimes just random kind of like scribblings on a piece of paper. And the real point of it is to try to understand myself and my relationship with the world in a way that is more cohesive than just the jumble that can sometimes exist just inside my head, which I think, especially after the last year, a lot of us can understand that feeling of being sort of trapped inside our own heads. So the idea through the mentorship that I do and the creative expression workshops that I do is about understanding yourself better by bringing out that kind of concept from within through the noise into something tangible on a piece of paper.
Right. Well, I'm going to ask you to read a poem, if that's okay. But just before that, if we've managed to whet people's appetite and they want to find out about your company or indeed about what you do, how do they find out?
Sure. So they can find us, the name of the company is The Joyful, and they can find us at www.wearethejoyful.com. And we can be found on social media under We Are The Joyful too.
Lovely. Okay, what are you going to read for me?
So I'm going to read a poem which is called The Light That Clings to the Shadows. And it's about depression and hope, which I hope after the last year that there will be something that resonates with people in this. I have been to despair, sat silent amongst the howling winds of spirits trapped there. I have watched the storm grow thick around the middle of the universe, seen the way it gobbles the dreams of children when they're still too young to fight for their reason to be here. I have played with the corners of mouths that gave up asking to be loved, and hearts that forgot that they are love. I have lost. I have lost the light that clings to the shadows. I have stopped believing in the gifts that can be found at the end of rainbows. I have seen the rain and blamed the clouds and called myself broken with a resolute tone as I danced with the victim in the shadow. I have been alone in a cell of one's own creation, and in the midst of so much muchness, I was afraid. Yet just as there was nothing left to do or to say, just when there seemed no way to move through the pain, right there in a spot so sweet it hurts, right there in the center of the universe, I was seen. I saw the rose unfurl as I was shown the true nature of God in the balancing of stones, and it was subtle, So soft I would miss it if I wasn't in a space of complete emptiness, waiting to be filled, yearning to come home.
Wonderful, absolutely beautiful. Sophie, thank you so much.
Thank you.